It's a late-breaking update.
What appears to be a hostage situation.
One man was shot twice in the chest and died at the scene.
Apparently the terrorist who began shooting.
Police now say the shooting of a teen is gang-related.
Picture a war-torn country in the Middle East. A kid who eats rations cause the border's not permitting leave or entry of vehicles to transport the things he needs. Medical supplies don't make it to the people with disease. Epitome of hardship. He's living in a charred bit of earth where the military consider streets as targets and riddle people's farms with airstrikes. And there might be a little harvest, but it'll be a rare time. By 15 he's buried half of his fading fam. Joins a training camp to bring freedom the only way you can. Taking arms against an enemy who made this man incredibly unfazed against an enemy who takes his land. By 18 all of his training is complete. He gets across the border safely by evading the police. There's no way that he'd retreat. He makes his way to where he needs to take aim on all the people who depraved him of his peace. Picture a broken home, mum and dad smoking cones, iced out. Even when the light's out, their child's out of bed. He awoke and knows that they're fighting now. He's crying cause his mum sits beside him with a broken nose. So this violence is a daily event. Maybe it gets a little better, but that day isn't yet. And every time he thinks that day is the next day he wakes from his rest to find his old lady is dead. It turns out his old man is pretty wasted again. So he calls the ambulance and sits awake in his bed and prays for the best. The cops take him away from the wreck and put him in a foster home where he's just hated again. He finds escape in a friend who introduces him to a group of crims who make him family by taking him in to make him a kin. Initiation later begins. He waits for a kid to kill him or they say that it's him. Picture a family of immigrants and a family who didn't give up. When times were tough they rised above to give their kids a life they never had at the island that they lived in. A life where they aspired to be providers to their children. The struggles that they went through meant C&I got to be guided by their vision like a C&I dog. All the while that they were living they were keeping 9 jobs to keep us in a private school that had their reasons why not. So I guess that we grew up okay by valuing their sacrifices. Melbourne is a paradise they gave to us with true love. It's safe to say we do stuff with that in mind. If you drew a battle line, our families would be standing there in battle time. So I'm thankful when it's time for the news and watch a fighter died in pursuit of a life that I knew. In breaking news, a kid was shot up and has died from the wounds. Another life that might have been me, it might have been you.
It's a crisis situation in Gaza right now. It needs no explanation. Well, in fact, it does, because the Western media distorts the reality to the mainstream public as to what's really going on.